Welcome to ShadowSleep Stories. If you're here to unwind, relax, or fall asleep, you're in the right place. Before we begin tonight's story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where are you watching from and what time is it for you. Now, get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's drift into the darkness together. Story 1. The Locksmith's Key. Henry Voss was a locksmith in a fading Oregon town, his shop cluttered with keys and bolts. A client, a pale man with unsteady hands, brought a key, old and etched with symbols, spirals, lines, eyes that seemed to writhe. He needed a lock made by midnight, offering a coin that burned Henry's palm. Henry worked, the symbols blurring his vision, the key humming. At night, whispers came from the key, saying, "Open, open us." He checked the shop, finding nothing, but the coin was gone, replaced by a lock that clicked without touch. The whispers grew, chanting Henry's name, the air cold. He found a ledger in a drawer. The key unlocks more than doors. Don't turn it. Scratches appeared on his tools, matching the symbols. His dreams showed a door, endless, a faceless shadow waiting. He woke to scratches on his arms, bloodless like the symbols. He called the client, but the line hissed, "You're ours." The town's history told of locksmiths vanishing, their keys found with symbols, unlocking nothing. One night the lock opened, the shadow stepping through, whispers screaming, "Open, open now." Henry's reflection in the key was faceless, smiling. He turned it, and the shop went dark. Story 2. The Signalman's Static. Miles Crane was a radio operator in a Wyoming outpost, monitoring signals in the desert night. A strange broadcast came, not weather but whispers, saying, "Here, hear us." The signals showed symbols, dots, dashes, eyes on his screen. Miles logged it, thinking it a prank, but the whispers grew, chanting his name. He found a logbook, the static sees, "Don't respond." Scratches appeared on his console, matching the symbols. His dreams showed a faceless figure in the static, calling. He woke to scratches on his hands. Bloodless. Miles called his supervisor, but the radio hissed, "You're ours." The outpost's history spoke of operators lost, their signals repeating whispers. The broadcast returned nightly, louder, symbols flashing. One night the radio blared, the figure stepping from the static, whispers screaming, "Here, here now." Miles's reflection in the screen was faceless, smiling. He answered the signal, and the outpost went silent. Story 3. The Groundskeeper's Roots. Owen Brandt was a groundskeeper at a Georgia estate, tending an overgrown garden. The owner warned him to avoid the old oak, its roots carved with symbols, circles, hands, slashes. At dusk, Owen heard whispers from the tree, saying, "Grow, grow with us." He checked the roots, finding a journal. "The oak binds, don't dig near it." Scratches appeared on his shovel, matching the symbols. His dreams showed roots pulling him underground, a faceless shadow watching. He woke to scratches on his arms. Bloodless. Owen called the owner, but the line hissed, "You're ours." The estate's history told of groundskeepers vanishing, their tools marked with symbols. The whispers grew, urging him to dig. One night the oak's roots moved, the journal opened to his name, the shadow waiting. Owen's reflection in a puddle was faceless, smiling. He dug, the roots closing around him, the garden still. Story 4. The Scribe's Ink. Ezra Holt was a scribe in a Maine archive, copying old manuscripts. A client brought a book, its pages blank but heavy, etched with symbols, lines, eyes, spirals. He paid with a vial of ink that stung Ezra's skin. Ezra wrote, the ink flowing wrong, the symbols appearing unbidden. Whispers came from the book, saying, "Write, write us." He checked the archive, finding nothing, but the vial refilled itself. A ledger warned, "The ink keeps. Don't finish the book." Scratches marked his pens, matching the symbols. His dreams showed him writing, the ink binding him, a faceless shadow guiding. He woke to scratches on his hands, bloodless. He called the client, but the line hissed, "You're ours." The archive's history spoke of scribes lost, their books filled with symbols. One night the book wrote itself, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, right now. Ezra's reflection in the ink was faceless, smiling. He finished the page and the archive darkened. Story 5. The Fisherman's Catch. Caleb Wren was a fisherman on a Washington lake, his nets empty until a stranger offered a lure, etched with symbols, waves, eyes, lines that glowed faintly. That night, Caleb's nets filled, but whispers came from the water, saying, Take us. He checked the lake, finding nothing, but the lure was in his pocket, though he'd left it. A logbook in his boat warned, the lake claims, don't use the lure. Scratches appeared on his nets, matching the symbols. His dreams showed him drowning, faceless shapes pulling, the stranger watching. He woke to scratches on his arms, bloodless. He called the stranger, but the line hissed, you're ours. The lake's history told of fishermen lost, their boats marked with symbols. One night, the lure glowed, the shadow in the water, whispers screaming, take now. Caleb's reflection in the lake was faceless, smiling. He cast the net, and the water pulled him under. Story 6. The Watchman's Flame. Jasper Lane was a night watchman at a Colorado factory, its furnaces cold. A worker gave him a lantern, its glass etched with symbols, flames, eyes, spirals that flickered without fuel. At night, whispers came from the lantern saying, burn with us. Jasper checked the factory, finding nothing, but the lantern relit itself. A logbook warned, the flame keeps, don't light it. Scratches marked his keys, matching the symbols. His dreams showed him burning, a faceless shadow holding the lantern. He woke to scratches on his hands, bloodless. He called the worker, but the line hissed, you're ours. The factory's history spoke of watchmen vanishing, their lanterns glowing. One night the lantern flared, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, burn now. Jasper's reflection in the glass was faceless, smiling. He lit the flame and the factory went dark. Story 7. The Baker's Oven. Vincent Cole was a baker in a Texas town, his bakery struggling. A customer brought a recipe written on parchment with symbols, circles, lines, hands that smelled of ash. The bread sold fast, but whispers came from the oven, saying, bake us. Vincent checked the oven, finding nothing, but the parchment was there, though he'd burned it. A ledger warned, the oven hungers. Don't use the recipe. Scratches appeared on his pans, matching the symbols. His dreams showed him baking, the oven alive, a faceless shadow feeding it. He woke to scratches on his arms, bloodless. He called the customer, but the line hissed, you're ours. The bakery's history told of bakers lost, their ovens marked with symbols. One night the oven glowed, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, bake now. Vincent's reflection in the oven door was faceless, smiling. He fed the fire and the bakery went silent. Story 8. The Tracker's Trail. Owen Drake was a tracker in the Idaho wilderness, hired to find a lost hiker. The trail led to a clearing, marked with stones etched with symbols, spirals, eyes, slashes. Whispers came from the trees saying, hunt us. Owen checked the clearing, finding a journal. The trail takes. Don't follow. Scratches appeared on his gear, matching the symbols. His dreams showed a faceless shadow leading him deeper. The trail endless. He woke to scratches on his hands, bloodless. He called the ranger, but the line hissed, you're ours. The forest history spoke of trackers vanishing, their gear marked with symbols. The whispers grew, urging him to follow. One night the clearing glowed, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, hunt now. Owen's reflection in his knife was faceless, smiling. He followed the trail and the forest closed. Story 9. The Printer's Press. Lucas Holt was a printer in a Chicago shop, running an old press. A client brought a manuscript, its pages heavy, marked with symbols, lines, eyes, circles. The ink smelled wrong, the press humming. Whispers came from it, saying print, Print us. Lucas checked the press, finding nothing, but the manuscript reappeared, though he'd shredded it. A logbook warned, the press binds. Don't print it. Dot scratches marked his tools, matching the symbols. His dreams showed him printing, the ink alive, a faceless shadow watching. He woke to scratches on his arms, bloodless. He called the client, but the line hissed, "You're ours." The shop's history told of printers lost, their presses marked with symbols. One night the press ran, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, "Print, print now." Lucas's reflection in the ink was faceless, smiling. He fed the paper, and the shop went dark. Story 10. The Lodger's Window. Ezra Kane was a lodger in a London boarding house. Its rooms cheap but cold. The landlord warned him to keep his window shut, its glass etched with symbols, spirals, hands, eyes. At night, whispers came from the glass, saying, "Look, look at us." Ezra checked the window, finding nothing, but it was open, though locked. A guest book warned, "The window sees. Don't open it." Dot scratches appeared on the frame, matching the symbols. His dreams showed a faceless shadow outside, beckoning. He woke to scratches on his hands, bloodless. He called the landlord, but the line hissed, "You're ours." The house's history spoke of lodgers vanishing, their windows marked. One night the window glowed, the shadow waiting, whispers screaming, "Look, look now." Ezra's reflection in the glass was faceless, smiling. He opened the window, and the room went silent. No one knows what became of those who lingered in forgotten places. The locksmith's shop, the radio outpost, the overgrown garden, the archive's shelves, the lake's depths, the factory's glow, the bakery's heat, the wilderness trail, the printer's shop, the boarding house's room. Their stories haunt where whispers call and shadows wait, in corners where the air grows heavy and time slows. Some call them tales, warnings for the curious. Others say they're real, waiting for the next to answer. If you hear a voice in the dark, soft and insistent, don't listen. Sleep well, listeners. If you dream of keys, signals, roots, ink, lures, flames, ovens, trails, presses, or windows, don't heed their call.